remember Rocket Power? I had a love-hate relationship with Rocket Power. For the most part, I really liked it. I thought it was interesting and cool. I really liked Reggie. Yeah, the girl with the purple hair. I thought she was cool. I loved her purple hair. Kind of had a mild obsession with purple. Still kind of do. But yeah, I always used to wonder about what, like their dad definitely looked white. We never saw their mom. I don't know what happened to their mom. I don't know, something happened to their mom. I can't remember the storyline. But Reggie and her brother, they looked like really tan. They looked like melanated people. And I just was always curious about that. Like, where were they from? Were they actually Hawaiian people, or were they like, because they lived in Florida? I don't know. I was really confused. If you remember their story, please leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know. Alright, cool. Hey, it's Tesse, the Black TCK, and I'm here to talk to y'all today about Carefree Blackness. So, if you've been like anywhere on the internet, right, like usually in certain spaces, you'll see like maybe an image or a video of a black girl, like maybe she's dancing, maybe she's eating some really great food, maybe she's just like laughing with her friends, and then you see under that image, hashtag Carefree Black Girl. I think there was even like a picture the other day of Sasha Obama, and it had Carefree Black Girl with her and her friends, and she was just like walking away from Air Force One, and that was quite the carefree picture actually. But this video, I really just want to talk about the idea of being carefree and being a black girl who is carefree in particular, right? I think it was coined in response to these are just my thoughts. It means like being joyful, really. Like it's usually placed on images where a black girl is just joyful and happy and seems to not have a care in the world. And why is that such a thing that needs to be noted and to be looked at and to be acknowledged? I think that is because black girls in particular live a very interesting intersection in this society where they are usually awfully treated due to misogynoir, which is the particular form of misogyny gathered against black women that is kind of like a mix of misogyny and racism. So, misogynoir, right? Against black women. So, often black women and black girls grow up and live in a society where, due to being at the bottom of the chain with regards to race and gender, and due to being disadvantaged really, they tend to undergo particular oppressions, and some of these oppressions look like being told how they can dress, how they can behave, being told what they can say that's acceptable and respectable, being told whether they can go somewhere or whether they should stay home or who they should be, basically. Having their entire identity defined by people who do not share their experiences at all, being defined by not them, basically. And the thing about that is that when you see a black girl who is free and happy and joyful and seems to be living her life without being restricted by the oppression that she often faces, and being able to still be herself and still be joyful in that, it is a revolutionary act because it is inspiring to other black women, to other black girls often, because I feel like other black girls usually are the ones who or other black women, black femmes, are usually the ones who write like Carefree Black Girl on images and posts, and it's just like uplifting because it's like, look, I know what you're going through, sis, and I am so glad that you're not letting it stop you from being the amazing person that you are. And I think that's really cool. I think that's an amazing idea. I feel like I love all of these affirmative statements that we have going on in the community, like Black Girl Magic and Black Girls Rock. I love all of them. My melanin be poppin' and all that good stuff. Like all these good things, that celebrate our race and our gender. Like, I think it's so important because, especially since a lot of them are things that we came up with ourselves to uplift ourselves, because it just really reinforces the idea that we are here for each other, and that is what really, at the end of the day, we should and need to be. And it's enough. And we are enough for each other, right? I love that. I love that idea, and I love that sense of community that it builds. That said, it seems very often, as with most things, right, there's room for improvement. There seems to be a certain kind of person that usually gets the phrase applied to her by other people. She typically fits within some society normative and society approved beauty standard, whether it's skin privilege that she has or whether it's like light skin privilege. It could really be anything, but she usually fits somehow within the beauty standards set aside in our largely Western society. And because of that, that's when she tends to be praised and adored, and and her joy and her happiness and her movements and her like apparent carefreeness is celebrated. So I feel like that is problematic, and I mean it is something that could definitely be improved on. It's definitely something that could be improved on, but it's not something that at all takes away from the idea and the beauty of the carefree black girl idea and praise and all that kind of stuff. Like it doesn't take away from it at all. It is kind of like the natural hair movement, right? Like the natural hair movement is a wonderful, gorgeous, amazing movement by black women, for black women, to celebrate our natural hair, the natural textures of our hair that is outside the Eurocentric standard, right? However, even within that natural hair community, there are some people, and there's a tendency by quite a few people to uplift and praise good Afrocentric hair, good Afro-textured hair over and good being Eurocentric, more Eurocentric, with like lighter curls, with looser curls rather, and maybe like lighter hair, and that's often uplifted more than like kinkier type 4 hair. So natural hair movement as a whole, amazing, awesome, beautiful, definitely with room for improvement. And so with the carefree black girl thing, amazing, awesome, wonderful, beautiful, definitely still with some room for improvement. So I think that is like being willing to ascribe and celebrate carefreeness. I think that's a word. I'm gonna pretend like it's a word. Like celebrate carefreeness in every black girl, in every black woman, because anyone who's able to like stand against that kind of multiple levels and layers of oppression and still come out, shining and smiling and joyful should be acknowledged, I think, personally. But I think also carefree movement and carefree blackness is really ascribed mostly to like black women, and I think that that's important and necessary, definitely. I do want my entire community, I want all black people, all marginalized people to be carefree. I want all of us to just be able to be in a place in a society where we don't let it like break us, because it can be really hard, especially when you become woke. I think a lot of people, myself included, sometimes just wish we could take cat naps from being woke, because it is hard. It's hard out here in these streets, like seeing seeing awful things and like actually clocking them constantly in your mind. It's exhausting, and sometimes I really do wish I could just switch off my brain and be like, no, like this is exhausting, and sometimes it's really like deeply disturbing. But I definitely prefer being woke than going through like completely asleep. But it is hard, it is hard and it's exhausting. And so anytime that a black girl is able to like celebrate just being carefree and being free, at least within that moment, within that space, within whatever she's doing, being free to be herself and embracing who she is and standing proud in that truth, or any black person or any marginalized person is able to do that despite the oppression that they face, I think it's awesome. I think it's definitely something to be celebrated. Carefree black girls still ours though. I'm just saying. I want everybody to be carefree, but I love the carefree black girl hashtag, and I think it's important, and it's really important, especially I think for black girls, young black girls, to see that, especially since growing up as a young black girl, not like being told all of the things that you can't do, not being expected to achieve much. It can be very demoralizing, degrading, but when you see things like this that uplift black women, that uplift young black girls, it can remind you that you can be the person that you are, and that you can achieve what you want to. So it's really awesome. It's really good. I love the carefree black girl idea, the Carefree Black Girl movement, whatever it is, I love it. And I definitely think that it's something that should stick around. Before I go though, kind of in line with the whole Carefree Black Girl thing, because it's another like movement or hashtag that like is meant to uplift black women, but people seem to have a problem with, some people seem to have a problem with. They always have a problem with something that black women are doing to uplift themselves. Like Black Girls Rock, Twitter tried to like make it white girls rock or all girls rock. It was just foolishness. Like, I don't know, they just can't let black women, black femmes alone. They just can't let us alone, right? But the one that I did see, and I read this article, gosh, I think her name was Lindsay Charver or something. I'll leave a link in the description box to find out what her name was. But there was this black woman that came forward and was like that this hashtag, and at the time she was talking about black girls are magic hashtag. She was talking about it's problematic because it has undertones of the magical Negro stereotype, as well as of the idea that black women and black girls are strong, the strong black woman trope. And so when I saw that, I could hear what she was saying, I could hear the words that she was saying, and I do understand where she was coming from, but I do feel like sometimes we have to make things for ourselves regardless of the white gaze. Like, we do have to make things for ourselves regardless of the white male gaze, white and or male gaze, and just do things for ourselves to uplift ourselves. And I feel like that's kind of like what she was saying, like the strong black woman trope. Black girls are magic, yes, but I don't really think in and of itself, outside of the whole magical Negro trope, which is something that white supremacy created and perpetuated and is used in TV shows till today, gosh, but it's so annoying, and I don't know, like, yeah, the magical Negro trope. And it is something that is still in existence today. That trope is still like dominant today, just like an angry black woman trope, just like the strong black woman trope, which is actually very detrimental to black women because it tells us that we can't have emotions or feelings, which is absurd, right? It goes without saying. And that we should just be strong no matter what. Goes without saying, and it's just a tool of oppression. But we'll just leave that aside for now. But yeah, I did see what she was saying, but I do think that as long as we understand it, it's for us. The whole black girls are magic, the black girls rock, and especially just like Carefree Black Girl. All of these things are for us, for each other, for us within our community. We're not using them as a way to like promote it to white people as, oh, this is who we are or this is how we are. It's not about white people. It's not about other people of color. It's not even about, you know, black men in most situations. It's not about anyone else. It's just for us. Like, so however other people can or cannot like perceive it, I don't think that that should stop us from using words and using terms that uplift us, especially since I don't think black girls are magic, as opposed to like maybe black women are strong. Like, that now has like several layers and most people can clock it. But I don't think that black girls are magic. I think that that really just, I don't think that that has the same kind of underlying tone of oppression underneath it. I just really don't see that with it. I think that some people, maybe like people who hold racist beliefs, misogynistic beliefs about black women, could definitely like read into it and like read into it as a magical Negro stereotype perpetuated, or can read into it as, or use it as a way to like support it. But we can't change or control the way they think, especially if they hold racist beliefs. We can't cure their racism by not following or living our lives according to things that may or may not fall into their ideas of what tropes or stereotypes are ascribed to black women. But yeah, but basically we have to live our lives regardless, is what I'm saying. And that kind of ties back into the whole Carefree Black Girl thing, right? We have to be carefree. We have to live our lives regardless of the white gaze, regardless of the male gaze. We just have to be ourselves, and we have to live. And we can't constantly be forcing ourselves to fit into the into the stereotype, into the tiny little box that they have set aside for us and how we should present or how we should be in the world. We have to just be ourselves, right? All right. So that's it for this video. If you like this video, hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons. If you want even more of me, follow me on all my social media. I am everywhere at the Black TCK. If you want to know more about what I'm going to be talking about this month, I have like a whole theme and everything in the calendar and just like some cool things on my blog. You should check out my blog, Contrarily Yours, at theblackTCK.com. You know I love you all, but until next time, stay great, stay slaying, and stay woke. Peace.